2020 has been a tumultuous year. The COVID-19 pandemic has created significant hardships for businesses, families, and individuals. Now more than ever, decision makers need timely and accurate information and advice in order to make the tough decisions necessary to guide their projects, programs, and organizations through unprecedented uncertainty. In this regard, Canada's COVID-19 Impact Map is a strategic tool that analyzes the health and economic impact of the pandemic on all key stakeholder groups across Canada and then helps you navigate through these risks and uncertainty. The virus caused a health and economic crisis, hitting both the demand and supply sides of our economy. In response, the federal government provided support totaling an unprecedented $1 trillion in direct tax and liquidity measures for businesses, individuals, and public health, including $167 million in direct support for businesses and $130 million in direct support for individuals and households. The current $317 billion COVID-19 economic response is more than 23 times larger than Budget 2019 and is the equivalent of more than 2 decades of future budgets. How is the federal government organizing itself for recovery? Initially, a COVID-19 Supply Council was established to procure critical goods and services, and now an Industry Strategy Council has been formed to plan and build Canada's long-term economic stimulus and recovery plan. In addition to these massive investments from Ottawa, Canada's provincial and territorial governments have provided $66 billion in direct funding and liquidity measures to support their regions. Meanwhile, Canadian municipalities have limited revenue sources and are having difficulties operating municipal programs due to household and business lockdowns, social distancing, and other community health measures. Our higher education sector produces ready-for-work talent, but with the partial closure of campuses and the transition to online courses, in addition to the dwindling international student enrollments as a result of the pandemic, university and college finances are fragile, and the longer-term viability of many are in doubt. The future of many of Canada's key not-for-profit organizations is highly uncertain. Their ability to survive is even more questioned amidst the pandemic because their individual members and funders are experiencing reduced revenues in most cases. The short-term impact of COVID-19 on the private sector has been unparalleled, with huge losses in revenue and employment varying by industry sector. Service-producing industries, which accounts for 80% of employment in Canada, are the hardest hit with regards to job losses. As a result of these economic impacts, businesses are reassessing their business strategies and operations as more staff work from home and as consumer demand remains tepid. The pandemic was a shock for households in lockdown and reduced consumer confidence levels to historic lows. This means consumers will remain cautious with spending for the foreseeable future. In addition, household debt is at historic highs. Therefore, consumer demand is likely to remain weaker for many years. In April, 3 million Canadians lost their jobs, and another 2.5 million lost over half of their hours worked. Even with an uptick in employment numbers by June, unemployment remains a major issue, particularly for younger Canadians, where nearly 30% remain unemployed. We are witnessing both unprecedented turmoil in international markets in addition to weakened international cooperation. Canada's 3 largest trading partners are revising their trade strategies to Canada's disadvantage. For example, the United States, our largest trading partner, is developing nationalistic economic policies, new border restrictions and tariffs, and geopolitical competition with China. This highlights Canada's trade vulnerability. At the same time, we have ongoing diplomatic and political issues to resolve with our second largest trading partner, China. Finally, our third largest trading partner, the United Kingdom, is leaving the European Union. As a result, the future for Canadian exports is highly problematic. Through Canada's COVID-19 Impact Map, you will understand the flows of COVID-19 funding between governments, private sector, higher education, nonprofits, and households. Recognize the impacts of the economic recession on different components of the Canadian economy. and see how you can mitigate the risks faced by your organization and carefully navigate a sea of uncertainty to your destination. As a digital tool, the COVID-19 Impact Map is constantly updated with the latest available data in order to provide you with the latest insights, data, and programs to help identify the opportunities for your organization as we head to a new normal. Contact us to receive a map and tailored briefing that will help you navigate tomorrow's uncertainty today.